Friends, there have been consistent demand from number of our friends since last few months that I should speak something on spiritual astrology also. Frankly speaking, I am unable to make either head or tail of the thing called spiritual astrology because every bit of Vedic astrology is spiritual only. It is called Vedang, that is an organ of Veda, and Veda contains the knowledge acquired by the Vedic bards or those supra intelligent beings called rishis or seers through direct experience, that is aparoksh anubhuti. Veda is the collection of the knowledge that our seers gathered through direct experience during the course of deeply absorbed meditation. And those meditations were meant to be in communion with the Creator, the Lord. Therefore, every bit of those knowledge is spiritual. And astrology, being an organ of Veda, is therefore naturally 100% spiritual. Then why to create a separate line under the heading of spiritual astrology? But yet it has become a fashion. I have seen people speaking on it, delivering lectures on it, giving discourses on it, that is a spiritual astrology, and what they have done in their efforts is not to be commented upon by me. It is for them and for those who listen to them to decide how far that is spiritual. Because I have been consistently telling that astrology is spiritual, but spirituality is not astrology. This basic difference has got to be kept in mind before trying to understand as to how astrology is spiritual or how it makes us understand the spiritual matters dealt in our scriptures in various forms. So today, on the demand of our beloved friends, I wish to say something in respect to spiritualism involved in astrology. I mean Vedic astrology. You know, in Vedic astrology, there is a concept of Kal Purush, and that Kal Purush is nothing but omnipotent, omniscient, all pervasive being called God, and therefore each house of the astrology is an organ of the Almighty God, and that we very clearly study in the very beginning of the astrology. While studying the astrology, it is taught to us at the very outset how the different houses are related to different organs of the time personified, that is Kal Purush or the Anant Purush, who has been praised in the Holy Veda under Purush Sukta. Now, just to cut short this preamble, I want to tell something very new to our friends as regards to the spiritual character of the horoscope. Now we all know that our Sanatan Dharma, and for that even Christianity and Islam, they all contain and talk about the principle of triplicity. That's why in Christianity The Almighty Being is called God. These three letters of God represent the three characteristics or three duties discharged by that Almighty in the form of triplicity. The G is generator, O is operator, and D is destroyer. So, the God who has created this universe is operating and controlling this universe in his three forms. The first form is the form of generator, which is called Brahma in our Vedic etho or Sanatan Dharma, and Rab in Islam. The second form of the God is O, that is operator, who operates the functioning of this universe, sustains the universe, preserves it, and is also doing everything for perpetuation of the process of creation. This operator side of the God or the Trinity is called Vishnu in Sanatan Dharma, in Vedic concept, and in Islam he is called Rahman, means the merciful protector. Lord Vishnu is the merciful protector or operator of this universe. And the third role of this Trinity is of destruction. D is for destruction, destroyer. That Almighty God also does the role of destroyer. And in Sanatan Dharma or in our Vedic concept of Godhead, this part of the Lord is called Mahesh or Shiva or Rudra, who brings about the destruction, annihilation, and devastation for each thing and being. Similarly, in Islam also, this figure is called Malike Yomiddin. That means the Lord of the day of the judgment, that is the destroyer. Therefore, all religions have thus, in one way or the other way, carry the concept of Trinity. Now you can ask me how this concept of Trinity is found in the horoscope. And that is what I am going to explain to you all in this session of our series named Adhyatmavalokan. That is Avalokan of Adhyat, or understanding the principles and philosophy of spiritualism and spirituality. Now let us see how this principle is in fact operating in our horoscope. We can clearly see that first house is related to birth, that is creation. Birth is the first process of the creation. Therefore, it is quite clear that the first house containing the attributes related to birth and other things represents the role of generator or the role of Rab, that is Brahma. So, first house is Brahma because creation sets in from here, and Brahma is the creator of the universe. He is responsible for creation of all things and beings. Thus, it is clear that the first house of the horoscope signifies Brahma in spiritual terms. Now, what is the second house? Let us look into it. It signifies food. Food is essential for sustenance of life, for sustenance of the body. Then it represents toddling, learning, etc. Crawling. A child crawls, toddles, then it starts standing up, then it starts walking. All these are covered in the second house. By taking food, the body becomes strong, child starts walking, then it starts learning the things, and that's why the academic education is connected to the second house. For the sustenance of life, for supporting the life, these things are very essential. And this is the role of Lord Vishnu. Therefore, we may say that the second house, which contains everything to support the health and life physically, mentally, and intellectually, is akin to or is signifying the role of the Lord Vishnu. Because Lord Vishnu is responsible for operation, sustenance, and preservation of the world. Now come to the third house. What does the third house signify? Because third role is of destroyer, or in Islam, Malike Yomiddin of Trinity. So third house, in the third house, these things get resolved because this is the house of death also. Being eighth from the eighth, third house signifies the death, the end of life. And that is the role of Lord Shiva because he is considered as the destroyer of life or destructor of life. That's why he is also called Mahakal or Bhutnath or Bhut Bhavan, etc. Therefore, we have seen that in our horoscope, first house represents the Brahma, the second house represents Vishnu, and third house represents Shiva or Mahesh or Rudra. So, this trinity, that is Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, are very clearly reflected in the attributes of the first three houses, that is, of creation, of operation and sustenance. Creation means Brahma, operation and sustenance means Vishnu, and destruction, that is death, means Lord Shiva or Rudra or Mahesh. So I have explained you here how in the horoscope Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh are there. Now I will explain it in other sets of houses also in the next session and in the next video. In the meanwhile, I would take leave and we will again meet shortly to discuss this matter in more detail to explain and understand how the concept of Trinity is involved in our horoscope.